Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni is officially going to trial. Who will win? It's getting harder and harder to tell these days, really. This It Ends With Us drama just landed an official court date.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has got a trial date March of next year.
Yes, people, we're talking March 2026. A New York judge has decided that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, along with their respective teams of lawyers, need to gear up for a jaw-dropping face-off. Hard to believe these two were once co-stars celebrating a box office smash in summer 2024. And now, they're at each other's throats in a case that involves text messages, video leaks, and even hush orders. The judge's scheduling also sped up an initial conference so the lawyers can discuss how to handle the whirlwind of pre-trial publicity. That's legal talk for stop flooding the press with spin. Blake's attorneys allege Justin's side is stirring the pot by selectively releasing documents and behind-the-scenes footage. Meanwhile, Justin's lawyer Brian Friedman insists they're only defending themselves with facts. The back and forth has become so heated that both sides accuse each other of trying to bias potential jurors before anyone even sets foot in the courtroom. And the madness doesn't end there. Blake's also launching some steps in Texas, eyeing a crisis management firm that she claims manipulated social media to trash her reputation. The plot twists keep rolling in faster than a red carpet scandal. At this rate, 2026 might feel like an eternity away. But for fans and observers hungry for more revelations, the countdown has definitely started. Ever seen a Hollywood feud so intense that one side begs a judge to shut the other up? That's precisely where Blake is right now.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are firing back, claiming that statements that are being made in the public need to be stopped.
She's frantic to stop Justin's lawyer, Friedman, from dropping more juicy tidbits online. In her view, he's staging a retaliatory media campaign designed to ruin her name before the trial even begins. It's not just about damage control. Her attorneys argue Friedman could be sabotaging the whole case by turning the public and potential jurors against her. According to Blake's team, Friedman is cooking up a website set to showcase incriminating out-of-context documents and messages. They claim that's not only unethical, it's also a surefire way to taint the jury pool. Friedman, however, says Blake can't handle the real story emerging. He calls her petrified of the truth, insisting she's the one who took their feud to the press first with a so-called hit piece. Now, he's determined to get revenge. It's a PR back and forth, no doubt, with each side slamming the other for extrajudicial statements. The judge, though, has bigger concerns. He wants them in his courtroom real soon to figure out if either party is stepping outside the bounds of professional conduct. Just when you thought this was confined to New York, Blake dropped another info dump. She's filed a request in Hayes County, Texas, aiming to grill a manager named Jed Wallace, who's allegedly tied to Justin's production company. Why? Because she believes Wallace orchestrated a widespread social media campaign smearing her, using Reddit, TikTok, and who knows what else. If that's true, it may back up Blake's claim of a deliberate effort to tarnish her image during the film's release. Wallace isn't named as a defendant in her New York lawsuits, but that could change. This Texas filing could set the stage for another front. According to Blake's docs, the PR whiz weaponized a digital army, posting or boosting negative chatter about her. Think of it as an underground rumor factory, feeding the public's worst assumptions. Friedman, who apparently represents Wallace, hasn't commented yet, though he's been busy calling out all attempts by Blake to mute the truth. It's like each passing day reveals another card in this high-stakes game. But for fans, this new development raises big questions. If all those negative posts about Blake were artificially generated, can she prove it? And if so, was Justin or his team behind it all? We could be on the cusp of seeing how far celebrities and studios are willing to go to manipulate public sentiment. It's definitely not the Hollywood fairy tale anyone expected. The date is set for Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's courtroom appearance, and March 9th, 2026 might sound far away, but in court terms, That's surprisingly direct.
A trial date has been set for March of 2026 in the ongoing legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
It gives both sides time to compile evidence, schedule depositions, and strategize their next moves. But for fans who can't wait to see how this unfolds, it's a long countdown. Louis J. Lyman has already merged both Blake's and Justin's lawsuits into one big case, meaning we'll get a single mega trial about defamation, possible PR manipulation, and God knows what else. With so many allegations floating around, like extra intimate scenes, suppressed footage, private jets, alleged behind-the-scenes flirting, this trial could make any primetime legal drama look tame. But the judge didn't just set the trial date. He bumped up an initial conference from February 2025 to the end of January 2025. Why the rush? Apparently, he wants to address all the finger-pointing over Friedman's media statements. The court's worried about potential juror prejudice, meaning it's time to rein in the public mudslinging before it turns the entire jury pool against one or the other. It's not every day you see a judge telling A-list celebrities and their high-profile attorneys to cool it. But these allegations are so wild that the judge is clearly stepping in early. And while fans might be entertained by every juicy leak, the participants themselves are likely anxious. Trials are expensive, stressful, and unpredictable, especially with so many heated personalities in the ring. Leaks, and more leaks. That's basically how both Blake and Justin's legal teams are duking it out.
Baldoni released behind-the-scenes video from the movie that he says undermines harassment claims.
Blake's side calls Justin's footage releases manufactured media stunts. Friedman says they're just exposing receipts that Blake wants hidden. Who's right? Who knows? Both approaches aim to sway public opinion long before court proceedings begin. In Friedman's defense, he claims it's Blake who first turned to the press with her complaint, setting off coverage in major outlets like the New York Times. Her lawyers say they had to do it because of the severity of her allegations. She needed to speak up. Friedman, though, insists that once you weaponize the media against a defendant, you can't scream foul when the defendant defends himself the same way. That's why he labels her gag order request rich with irony. It's tricky. If Friedman is selectively releasing juicy bits to spin the narrative, that's definitely questionable. But if the full context genuinely helps Justin, is it really wrong for him to show it? The public, as usual, is caught in a swirl of partial evidence. Some people are already complaining that each leak seems incomplete, leaving out the bigger picture. Or maybe the bigger picture is that two big stars are scrapping for control, with each leak adding another angle to an already confusing story. Swirling rumors claim Blake and Ryan's marriage is taking a hit too, because of all the drama. It all started when an outspoken royal commentator, Lady Colin Campbell, claimed she'd heard from sources close to the couple that the stress of this lawsuit could tear them apart. Talk about a turn no one saw coming, from everyone's favorite relationship goals pair to potentially a union on the rocks. The chatter says Ryan has a track record of swooping in on lucrative ventures, so maybe that pattern repeated with It Ends With Us, and Justin refused to play along. More scandalous is the rumor that Ryan may have sensed too strong a spark between Blake and Justin. Lady C teased that Blake actually found Justin pretty darn appealing, and Ryan's jealousy skyrocketed. If so, it'd explain why this meltdown became so personal so fast. Gossip has been spinning the idea that Blake pinned the blame on Justin once Ryan sniffed out possible flirty vibes. So basically, she unloaded all these allegations to protect her relationship. Could it all be just speculation? Absolutely. But the notion that big-time stress is crashing down on them is plausible. They've skipped major events, presumably to avoid red carpet questions about the lawsuits. Online, Fans debate whether the fiasco is stoking old insecurities in Ryan or shining a harsh spotlight on some cracks in their marriage. After all, even the strongest celebrity couples might buckle under so many explosive accusations and swirling rumors. That's the angle Lady C is doubling down on, and many watchers are nodding in agreement. With each passing day, the tension escalates. 1 minute, Friedman is unveiling new raw footage that supposedly clears Justin of wrongdoing. The next, Blake's attorneys scream foul. Blake is also going after a manager she thinks manipulated online chatter about her, launching a new possible front in Texas. Ryan is strangely silent, fueling speculation that behind closed doors, he's engineering the entire strategy. Add it all up, and you've got the makings of a volcanic eruption won't truly erupt until March 2026.